I want to talk to you today about something I call conflict laundering. This is something I see across all the different companies I work with. Doesn't matter what function of the business, what department, there are so many teams that are suffering with this conflict laundering, and it is costing so much wasted time, effort, and energy. And it is something that you can solve relatively easily and relatively quickly. So let me run through what I mean by conflict laundering. I've got two teams up here, Team A and Team B. These are the managers of the two teams, and they have 4 or 5 direct reports that report into them. Now imagine that these two teams have to work together to achieve what they need to achieve. Imagine, I don't know, Team A is a sales team, and these are account executives. And Team B is a overlay team, a specialist team. And these are sales specialists in some sort of product or service or something like that. And they have to work together. Now, within this team, in Team A, you've got Priya. Priya is an account executive. If we continue with that analogy. So Priya is an account executive. She has to work with Ravi, who's in Team B. Ravi is a sales specialist, and they have to work together to go and do the work they need to for their customers. But Priya does not like Ravi. Priya thinks that Ravi is lazy, that he's work shy, that he doesn't put the effort in that he should, that his quality of work is poor, and she's fed up with it, absolutely fed up with it. So what does she do? Well, 9 times out of 10, she will go to her manager. Now, the manager of Team A, she's really nice. She's really well-intentioned. She's very supportive of her team. She wants to be there for her team, look after her team. And so, of course, she's going to listen to Priya. She's going to take on board all of the things that Priya's frustrated about. And she wants to make Priya feel better. She wants to have a good impact on Priya's work. So she'll say to Priya, look, leave it with me. I'll go and see what I can do. So Priya walks away feeling pretty good. And then that's now left with the manager of Team A. So she has to do something with this. So she'll probably go and walk across to her peer, the manager of Team B, say, look, we need to sit down and have a chat about this person in your team, about Ravi. These are all the things I'm hearing. Da, 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 da. So then the manager of Team A thinks, yep, brilliant, done my bit. Okay, I've passed that problem on. Off she goes. Now the manager of Team B, he's got a problem. Again, he's a nice, well-intentioned manager, wants to do the best for their team, wants to do the best for the company, etc. So he's got to do something with this issue. So then he goes down and speaks to Ravi and his team about that. Now, just think what that experience is like for Ravi. That is an awful experience. Third-hand feedback of that type is horrendous as an experience for Ravi. And equally, that is not going to lead to any kind of positive or productive outcome whatsoever. There is no way that that process leads to suddenly Ravi and Priya working really well together. That's just not going to happen. But look at the amount of noise this has created. The meetings, the chat messages, the calls, the time, the emails, the energy wasted on this whole process that ultimately will never, ever lead to a productive, constructive, positive outcome. So what should you do? Well, one of the things I often see, and a mistake that I often see the leader of Team A making, is instead of taking it to the manager of Team B and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, what they do instead is they say, right, manager of Team B, let's work together and think, can we align Priya to somebody else that's not Ravi in your team? And they may think that's just a nice, easy, quickest thing that they can go and do. The problem with that is you set a precedent. And as soon as these other people understand that that's happened, they will then start asking to shift around as well. The minute they don't get on with somebody, they will start asking to shift around as well. So I wouldn't advise that as an approach. It may seem short-term the easiest, quickest thing to do, but long-term, you will regret doing that. The only way you can make a positive outcome here is if you help Priya understand that the responsibility is hers to go and speak to Ravi and see if they can work out how to work together. Now, most people in most companies, if the manager of Team A tells a Priya, somebody in their team, to go and have that kind of conversation with somebody else in a different team, they are going to run a mile. They are not going to want to go and do that. So the manager of Team A needs to help the people in their team to understand how they go and have those conversations. I'm a big fan of how you frame things. So for example, what you could say to Priya is, look, go and speak to Ravi. Say something like, Ravi, I know we're not working effectively together at the moment. I really want to make this work, and I want to understand what I can do to make that better. I'd love to hear your feedback and what I could be doing differently to make this more effective. And equally, I've got some ideas of my own that I'd love to share with you. And let's just see if we can work this out. If you frame it in a way like that, 99 times out of 100, that will probably lead to something more productive. And it's a far more likely chance that you'll reach a positive conclusion than this wasted amount of energy and time that's gone on here. The most normal thing to do is to launder this problem from one place to the next until it ultimately gets to a place where nothing positive comes and all of that time and energy is wasted. But it does not have to be like that. And remember, my final thought on this, these people all want to be successful, probably in their careers and in their roles, maybe at this company or other companies. They have to learn. They have to learn how to have difficult conversations with colleagues, with peers, with people more senior than them, etc. That's a really important skill that people have to learn. So you're helping them by enabling and them supporting them to learn how to do this well.